Hi, I am Sir CJ, and I think this is the second, right? Yeah, this is the second session for Biology 10. Welcome to this discussion. For this session, we have the following parts. The first part will be an activity. It is titled Break It Down, and it's actually a concept map. The second part of this session is a discussion about the nerve cell, the types, and the structure of a neuron. And then the last part of this session is a discussion on the control of body processes. We'll begin with the nerve impulse. This session of Biology 10 is under the following learning competency. It is to explain the role of hormones involved in the female and the male reproductive systems. So, let us begin with the first activity. I think for this activity, you might be needing one whole sheet of intermediate pad paper. We have the following objectives though. Actually, it's only one. The objective for this activity is for you to be able to identify the parts of the nervous system. The best way to memorize or at least be familiar with the parts of the nervous system is actually to put them in a concept map. You know how sometimes we tend to be better at locating information instead of just memorizing them. Yeah, that is the concept. The concept or the reason for a concept map is that it allows us to recall information easier by giving us some sort of a location in our minds. It actually also gives us an opportunity to discover the relationship or the relationships that are existing between or among concepts which we might have never actually thought that actually we never thought that they might have that kind of relationship before. Okay, yeah, to to proceed, we have the following. For the procedure, you will use the given graphic organizer, and then all you have to do is simply fill in the missing parts to complete the entire concept, showing the structure of the nervous system. So I will be showing you the following, and then you are just simply going to fill in the missing information. So you're familiar with the two divisions or two major divisions of the nervous system, and each of those divisions have main divisions or main components. For the main divisions, it could be one of them could be the somatic nervous system. For the other major division, its main one of its main components could be the brain. For the main divisions of one of the major divisions, under somatic nervous system, you have actually two main parts. And then that mystery main division has subdivisions that are not kumbaga, supplied over here. For this major division that has main components, and one of its components is the brain. It has actually three parts, which were already discussed to you in our video lesson. And then the other main component is just kumbaga left as it is. Now you are going to be given time to work on this concept map. But since this is a video lesson, all you have to do is to pause it and then continue playing it once you're through with your work. So yeah, you may now pause this video lesson and go on and do your work. Since you have decided to play this video lesson, I am assuming that you are through with this graphic organizer. Let us head now to the next part of this activity, which is answering the following guide questions. The first question, question number one: how will you differentiate the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system in terms of their functions? For the sake of making our discussions more clear, I would like to clarify that When we use CNS, it means central nervous system. And when we use PNS, we mean the peripheral nervous system. Go ahead and answer this guide question. Are you done? Let us now head towards the next guide question. Question number 2. What might happen to the human body if one part of the nervous system fails to carry out its function properly? Go ahead and answer this guide question. Are you done? Okay, let us now proceed to discovering the answers to the concept map. I hope that you have a green pen or a red pen with you to check your own work. Alright, so for the concept map, these are the answers. The major divisions of the nervous system are the following. The first major division is the peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system has two main divisions. The first main division is the autonomic nervous system that is further subdivided into the sympathetic and parasympathetic autonomic nervous system. The second main division of the peripheral nervous system is the somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is composed of two main parts, the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. On the other hand, one of the major divisions of the nervous system, the central nervous system, has the following main components. The first main component is the spinal cord, and the spinal cord is just left as it is. The second main component of the central nervous system is the brain. And the brain, based on our discussion, is composed of the following major parts. The first part is the cerebrum, the second part is the cerebellum, and the last part is the brain stem, over here. That caps the concept map for Activity 1, Break It Down. Let us now proceed to the answers to the guide questions. The answer to the first guide question, question number 1, which goes, how will you differentiate the central nervous system or CNS and the peripheral nervous system PNS in terms of their functions? Is the central nervous system or CNS serves as the main processing center for the entire nervous system, while the peripheral nervous system or PNS connects the central nervous system to the organs and limbs, yung ating mga extremities, by relaying information through the nerves. So the main processing unit of our nervous system is actually the CNS. However, despite the significance of the CNS, we cannot actually underestimate the importance of the PNS, because the PNS makes the connection between the central nervous system and our organs and the limbs possible. Okay, so the PNS is in charge of that kind of connection. So if there is if there goes an opportunity, not really an opportunity, if there goes an event where the peripheral nervous system gets say disturbed or cut off from the rest of the body, or maybe a part of it is cut off from its connection with the different parts of the body, then the central nervous system would fail to connect to those organs and limbs. So we can expect actually that the organism in that case is going to suffer some disorders or diseases, or more of a disorder actually. For the second guide question number 2, which goes, what might happen to the human body if one part of the nervous system fails to carry out its function properly? The correct answer to this question is as follows. All the other parts of the nervous system will not be able to carry out their corresponding functions, and the other body systems will be affected as well. And the effect of the failure of the nervous system to carry out its function properly would be actually detrimental not just to that part of the body but to the rest of the body as well, and generally to the general well-being actually of the organism concerned. All right, so for the concept map, I think the grading could be 1 point for each correct answer. So this is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So that could actually be 11 points. And then maybe for the following guide questions, the answers could be given around 2 points, depending on their closeness to the correct answers. So that would give us 2 points for the answer to question number one, giving us a total of 13 so far. And another 2 points for your answer in question number two, which will give us 15 over 15 total score for this entire activity. Go ahead and indicate your score on the upper right hand corner of your answer sheet. Are you through? If you are, then congratulations, you are done with the first part of this session. Let us now move forward to the discussion regarding the nerve cell. These are the types of nerve cells and the structure of a nerve cell. So as you may see in figure number 2, these are the basic parts of a neuron. And a neuron looks like this, okay? It has the dendrite. So these are like branches. It has the nucleus. It has the cell body. And then there is also an axon that goes through the myelin sheath, which actually serves as some kind of an insulator, I mean, of the axon. And then we have the node of Ranvier, which is in between the myelin sheaths. And then in these myelin sheaths, merong naka-embed na Schwann cell. And then sa may ends dito, sa may area na to, we'll find the axon terminal. The basic unit of the nervous system is the nerve cell. So when we're saying the basic unit, we mean that when you put these nerve cells together, you can create the entire nervous system. You get what I mean? So, kumbaga sila yung building blocks, no, ng ating mga nervous systems. Ang mga nerve cells are also called neurons. So, pag sinabi nating neurons, that is the same as saying nerve cells. And if you are fond of using shorter terms, you can actually do away already with the term neurons instead of saying the entire words nerve cells. Next one, if you study the following figure, you will discover that despite this relatively small size of a neuron, it actually has several parts. And in this case, we mentioned around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts. And also because of their really small size, there could be actually around billions of neurons in the body. Some neurons, they can actually just exist by they are, wala silang mga kakonektahan, wala silang katabi, ganun. Not really super wala namang katabi, like super layo nila, hindi naman sa ganun. Pero they are not, kumbaga, bundled, okay, with other neurons. Yet, they can still function normally. Other neurons naman, they are joined together to form organs, like say for instance, the brain and the spinal cord. So yeah, I hope I made it clear that neurons could be alone. They can also be bundled to form organs, nervous system organs such as the brain and the spinal cord. And based on our what do you call that? Based on our definition of terms, when we say neurogenesis, that actually means the production of nerve cells. All right. Now there are around 12 to 14 billions of neurons in one part of the brain alone. So that's actually so many neurons already, right? Yung joke natin na may dalawa ka na lang natitirang neuron. That is a really severe case, no, of siguro neural what do you call that? Parang degeneration, degeneration. I don't know if I'm right. Pero when you say siguro meron ka ng dalawang nerve cells, parang sobrang ano na, lala na ng ng situation mo. Yeah. So a neuron has a cell body that contains the nucleus. So the nucleus is right here, and we all know that the nucleus, when it is found in the cell, all it does is actually coordinate the functions of that cell, right? Kumbaga, in this case, a neuron, which is actually what makes up our brain, has a nucleus which actually serves as the brain of the neuron as well. It's the coordinating system of the neuron. Now, projecting out from the body of the cell body, from the cell body, are root-like structures. So these root-like structures are actually coming from the central area of the cell body, and these tree-like or root-like structures are called dendrites or axons, which actually ends over here. Ang mga dendrites, ang kanilang usual na action or their action, actually not just usual, they carry impulses towards the cell body. So they carry the signals from this area towards the cell body. So papasok ng cell body. A cell may have actually around 200 dendrites. Like, sobrang, dami nila. Right? Carrying impulses, lahat papunta sa cell body. Ang isang dendrite naman can actually be over meter long. Like, may dendrites tayo na sobrang microscopic, no? Napakaikli ng mga kumbaga root-like structures. Pero may mga dendrites din naman tayo na kahahaba naman nila. Okay, na umaabot talaga sila ng over 1 meter long or halos kalahati ng mga bodies natin. Alright. Now, one more thing is that aside from the dendrites, meron din mga root-like projections called axons. Ang mga axons naman, ang kanilang usual na action ay pag-carry ng impulses away from the body. So maybe to memorize these easier, we are not gonna rely on dendrites. We are gonna rely on axons. Since axon starts with letter A, that means that could be taken as as its definition, which is they carry impulses away, okay, away from the cell body. So A for away, axons. Now axons pass impulses to the dendrites of other neurons or the cell body of muscle cells. Halimbawa, itong dendrite, it's gonna receive like the signal, and then the cell body will be given that signal from the dendrite. The cell body then gives the signal or response or relays the signal to the axon, which then goes through these terminals that are connected with the dendrites of other nerve cells or the cell body of muscle cells. So, halimbawa, yung cell body ng muscle cells mismo ang pinuntahan nung signal, we can expect that particular muscle cell is gonna do like, or is gonna create a response to that particular stimuli. So, halimbawa, the signal is all about yeah, the person touched something super hot, the impulse could be given to the dendrite fast, and then the cell body, and then the axon, and then the it's gonna go through this entire line towards the axon terminals to connect to, say for instance, the cell body of muscle cells, which would then will remove the say hand, maybe the area, or say basta generally an area that is connected to something hot. Okay, kasi muscle cell itong pinag-usapan natin. Kumbaga pag sinasabi nating muscle cell, my point is it always almost reacts physically to something. Now, an axon can be grouped together into cable-like bundles that are called nerves. Okay, so when we say nerve cell, that is different from nerves. A nerve, in this case, is actually a bundle of axons. All right, so that concludes the second part of this session. We may now move forward to the last part of the session, which is a discussion on the control of body processes. Now, as you may see here, let's just wait for it to repeat. This is one nerve, and the other one is another nerve. So again, um, nerve and nerve. So dalawa sila. And then these are the axon terminals, and this is what they do when they get connected to the dendrite of another neuron. So as you can see, it releases something there. All right. So neurons are cells with with a special ability to carry signals or impulses. Ang ating mga thoughts, ang ating mga emotions, ang ating ability to learn, and many other body functions are carried by nerve impulses in the neurons. A nerve impulse, its definition, it is a combination of an electrical charge and a chemical reaction. Again, this entire thing right here, yan yung nangyari dyan na pag sasalin ng signal, that is an electrical as well as a chemical reaction. Now, a nerve impulse is in simple terms, could not just be considered simply a flow of electricity kasi nga may chemical siya. Okay, so you cannot just say that the nerve impulse is purely electrical in nature. It is actually also chemical in nature. So that being said, a nerve impulse is an electrochemical signal moving along a neuron. So yung mga yan, yung nakikita nyo dyan, those are signals, those are electrochemical signals that move along a neuron. Now, for you to have kind of like a grasp of what it was about, imagine that you are inside the room, and then may controls doon, and you can kumbaga flick those switches on and off. Like there are a lot of them, like siguro I'm talking about hundreds of different switches. Some are levers, some you just press them, some you have to really flick them. Some naman they are more free, like they move like joysticks, no? And if you are say for instance um using them or moving them all at once, that is actually how fast a nerve impulse travels along neuron. Ganon siya kabilis. Now, a nerve impulse cannot jump from one neuron to another. Di lang niya basta gagawin yun, okay? When a nerve impulse comes to the end of an axon, like in this case, dito sa end ng axon na to, it's gonna be causing a chemical called a neurotransmitter to be released. So itong mga to nakita mo dito, those yellow glowing things are actually neurotransmitter. And these neurotransmitters are are actually possessing some kind of an electrical as well as chemical, property. All right. The chemical crosses the space. It has the ability to do that. Ayan, may space kasi dyan, di ba? It causes the space between neurons, and that space is actually called a synapse. In this case, that's the synaptic depth. Again, the space between these neurons is called a synapse. And yung mga chemicals na nanggagaling from the axon has the ability to cross that space and stimulate the nerve impulse to start in the next dendrite. And then that dendrite will carry the signal to the cell body. Remember, that is the job of the dendrite. And then the cell body will be relaying some kind of a response to that stimuli towards the axon, which then carries that particular signal through the myelin sheath ito dito papunta sa mga axon terminals. Ayan. So, I hope that we have clarified kung ano ang ibig sabihin natin by neurons, ano yung roles nila about as well sa nerve impulse, paano siya nangyayari. In this video lesson, this is session number 2, we were able to finish the following parts. The first one was an activity. It was a concept map activity where you also answered several guide questions. Actually, not too several, around dalawang guide questions. Yeah. And then the second part naman, we had this lecture about the nerve cell and the types and structure of a neuron. And then the last part naman of our session was a discussion about the control of body processes. And we specifically talked about the nerve impulse. Remember that this session, session 2 of Biology 10, is still under the following learning competency, which is to explain the role of hormones involved in the female and male reproductive systems. This is RCJ, and I hope that I will see you in the next video lesson. Have a good rest of your day.